Hello and welcome to another Foundry Quick Tip video, and this one is about tiles. Tiles are a very simple but often overlooked tool that you can use to dress up your scenes, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can make more use of them, and I'm also going to show you how I did that. So without further ado, let's go to a scene. Basically, everything you see in this scene is a tile. The house, the barrel, the trees, the cart, the like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell thing. Everything except for the green, dirty, gravelly background. So yeah, it's basically just images you drop onto your canvas to dress up a scene. It can be anything you want. Just plain JPEGs or alpha blended images like the trees. So yeah. By default, they are behind the tokens, but you can also set them so they are indeed in front of the tokens, as you can see here where he moves underneath the trees. But there's more than just, dropping some images. You can do some neat things with them. So let's say your party wants to look in the barrel, and of course you're an excellent GM and you have some foresight and you've prepared this as a layered tile, and you just remove the top layer to reveal indeed that there is something in the barrel, but it's just coal. You can reveal and cover up tiles as you wish, but some tiles you can set in a specific way so that they do it automatically. For instance, here the house has a roof, and the roof is a roof tile. So when the character moves underneath it, it will reveal the shop that's in the building. And you'll notice that there's a token there and that the fireplace has an animated light. But when you move outside of the house, it covers it up. So it blocks sight and hides everything that's underneath it. And it does it automatically. Another thing you can do, you do not have to use only just images, pictures. You can also have animations or little movies. For instance, let's say this character isn't happy with the service of this shopkeeper and decides to use the coal outside to indeed set fire to the building. There you go. Oh no, the house is on fire. Of course, this is layered as well. See, it didn't layer it on top. Of course, you can set it on top so that indeed the entire house is on fire, not just from the inside, but also from the outside. But it is also useful to hide. For instance, you enter the shop and oh no, it turns out the shop is on fire. So yeah, layers, very simple. I'll show you later how to do that. But another thing you can do, just a second while I pause this, because you can do that. Another thing you can do is when it comes to maps, normally you will have like these map icons, and when you click on them or when your GM decides to, you can see some illustrations, some flavoring, and it's a nice way to set the scene. But indeed, the GM can use tiles in this instance as well to indeed just for flavoring or to give you a description or an impression of what something is like. And the good thing is you can have like a little moving animation or a little video, and you can resize it however you like. So it can be small, it can be large, and yeah, it helps with the flavor. And it's I think it's nicer than just a little static image. And of course, your videos will be much better made than my quickly improvised flow skip recording. So, yep, there you go. Another thing scenes are very useful for is not just like these campaign map thingies, but indeed city maps. Because if you're like me, you will have your characters wander about, exploring all kinds of stuff, and it will be sort of an open world. And instead of having you prepare multiple scenes for this city, you know, every building they can go in, you do not want to have a scene for everything. Instead, you can have some standard tiles, like an inn, a temple, a rich house, middle class house, a lower class house. There's a sewer and a barracks, you know, stuff like that. Generic buildings, and instead of making a scene for every one of them, you just create a tile for them. And when the players say, "Well, I'm going into this shop," and you can then just grab your shop tile, and there you go. Now you're in the shop, and you can even put the NPCs you had, place them on there, and you know the players can have the same scene as they would if you had made this a separate like scene. Of course, you can do walls and stuff on tiles, but I would only do that if you're not going to move the tiles, if they're static, if they're in place, and only simple things, because if you really want to do intricate things, I would make a different scene for it. These are just, you know, to improvise. You know, players saying, "Oh, I'm going to knock on the door of this house and enter it," and you go, "Oh shit, it's some random dude's house," and you just grab the lower, middle, or upper class house, whatever is suitable, and you can do it like this. And when you're done with the scene, you just remove the NPC, and indeed, you know, hide the tile, and then the players can go to a different scene. For instance, maybe they are in an inn. There you go, and you can have a little scene in an inn. But it can also be. It doesn't have to be such a small, limited scene. It can be indeed an entire map, if you like. Let me grab it quickly. And there you go. There's the entire map, and the player can wander across the map, and yeah, say there's a festival in that park. So instead of creating an entire scene for this little market or festival, you can do it as a tile. It saves you a lot of hassle. Of course, another thing you can do is use the tiles basically with the most basic function, and that is as actual dungeon tiles. So you go to your tiles, custom tiles in dungeon, and of course you have to set the scale of the canvas, which I have not done. But if you have a nice tile set, dungeon tile set, you can create a fun little dungeon with it. There you go, and there you go. Or if you want, you can rotate this 90 degrees, and you can put it there. There you go. If you have multiple of these tiles, you can create any dungeon you like. So yeah, that's it. So let's go. back. These are just simple tiles. This is a normal tile, and when you right click them, you get the orange selection box, and then double click, you get the little menu, and you can do all kinds of stuff. But if you double right click, you get some shortcuts here. This is means it's an underfoot tile, so the token will move over it, and this is an overhead tile, so the token will move under it, and indeed it will be above other tiles. And in this way you can move it up or down a layer. So with the barrel, let's unhide it. There you go. I can move it down or I can move it up. So you see that it is indeed even below this tile here. And I move it up, it's all the way to the top. So that's like the sequence of the tiles. If I click this button, I can edit the overhead tiles, which is this roof and this tree here. And if I do not click that, I can't select the overhead tiles. This one, overhead, I've set it to none, always visible. That means it's always on top and it's always visible. It's basically what it says. And this one I have set as a roof, so it acts as a roof. That makes it disappear and hide everything under it. So there's a couple of things you can do. The animation, very simple animation. You can autoplay the video or loop it, and loop it, and of course I looped it. If it has video, if it has audio, you can either enable it or disable it, or just the volume. In this case, it is a opaque video. You'll see it does not have any alpha blending. So if you're going to use videos and you want to have something shown underneath, either use an alpha video with like a see-through video, or adjust the opacity, and you can make it more or less see-through. And you can adjust sizes, rotation, and such. In the right lens, same, just a little video. If you are going to do videos, like if I do a tile, I can just drag it on, and it will be the size of the file. So if it's a large file, it will create a large tile. If it's a small file, it will create a small tile, but of course you can resize it. There you go. With videos, you can also drag and drop them. Let's see. Let's do the fire one because I know where it is. Custom scenes, other fire. Fire. I can drag and drop it, but I know that the fire video is rather large, and it will create a clumsy large tile with this, which is difficult to handle. So with video tiles, I found it easier to just create like an area and then select the fire, and it will create tile the size I denominated in the first place, and I can easily resize it afterward. So that's the best way to do the video tiles, I found. If we go to Middenheim, the city map, over here there's a nice convenient space. There's lots of space here, but what I do is to just put the tiles to the side. So I'll have some of them ready. Usually about 5 or so. Indeed, it depends on what's in the city, but you have some at the ready here, and you can just drag them and activate them whenever they're needed. So it saves you the hassle of creating an entire tile if it's not really needed. Of course, if it's an important scene, you would go with a tile like this dungeon, you wouldn't do this entire dungeon with a tile like the Middenheim map. You would make a separate scene out of it. And one thing you can do with the dungeon, I think, is really cool. Well, of course, set it to the proper size. Maybe I can do that. Grid size. Does this help? I'm not sure. Didn't do anything. Oh, wait, the other way around, of course. And it didn't do anything. Well, I'm doing the wrong thing. I am doing the wrong thing. So the grid needs to be... The thing needs to be smaller, so the grid needs to be bigger, smaller. Let's see what happens. There you go. Yeah, so now it's roughly the proper size. The fun thing you can do is you have your players explore the dungeon and say, oh, I'm going into this hallway, and perhaps there's a door, and they open a door, and then you can reveal whatever is there. Custom tiles, dungeon. You can then reveal them. Well, there's another room there. There you go, another room. Or is it this one? No. So you can use that to edit the thing they're seeing in real time. Rotate 90 degrees, or indeed you can do, if you want to rotate it the other way, minus 90 degrees. It doesn't matter in this case because it's same at both ends. But you get the drift. So yeah, that's fun with tiles. Make more use of it and use them to your advantage. I hope you liked it, and yeah, catch you next time. Bye bye.